Hey everyone, Chef Cameron Tait here and welcome to my kitchen. Let me tell you, we are gonna go on a culinary journey today to Morocco. We've got goose, we've got stewed fruits and almonds and cinnamon and vegetables. I guarantee after trying this goose recipe, you will never look at goose the same again. Let's get cooking. So for this Moroccan goose recipe, you can use a freshly harvested bird or one from the store. Let me show you how to debone it. So I find a 6-inch knife is perfect for this to get in and around the legs. So we're gonna start off first at the legs, and you're gonna make an incision from where the leg and the end of the breast meet joins. So you're gonna make an incision this way and this way. Now let's turn it around, and what we want to do is pop out the joint from the hip joint right there. Same on the other side. Turn it over on that side, and you're going to see the oyster on the back side of the goose. Get all of that meat, and you're going to cut through the little cartilage and off like that. Other side. Same thing, get all of that meat, and like that. All right, let's take the breast off next. I like having the head sort of towards me, so it's easier to get around the wishbone. So you got your keel bone, put your knife right along it, and you cut all the way down to where you actually hit the wishbone, and then cut down. Move it aside. And you're going to take all that meat like this, and you're just going to cut around the rib cage like that. Right down to where the drumette meets, and you'll see that the breast meat will end right on the bottom side here of the rib cage. So there's one. Same thing on this side, and you'll be able to feel it hit the wishbone and just make a little bit of a curve and then down. Use your thumb to pull all of the meat down and just run right along that rib cage. And off. Just like that. So really important with this dish is to use this carcass. So rinse it with some cold water. You're gonna get all of the excess blood off of it. Put it into a stock pot with some carrots, celery, onions in there. Fill it with cold water, not hot, and bring it up to a simmer for a couple hours, and we've got an even tastier dish because of using the bones. So now we're gonna separate the leg from the thigh. And all you need to do is feel with your finger, and you can actually feel where the joint is. So cut it right through like that. And what we're going to do is we're going to trim off some of the excess fat on this one here, but never throw out goose fat or duck fat because it's amazing to fry with. Set that aside, and now we've got all this extra fat here. We're going to trim that off. And now the breast. So you've got all of the excess meat here, the fat, so let's trim that off. And we're almost cutting all of the fat around just exactly where the breast meat is. And if the breasts are a little bit larger, you can cut them in 3, you can cut them in 2 if they're smaller. I'm gonna cut this one in half like this. And the same with the other one. So now this is flavor. Got it brown on this side, flip it over, brown it on the next side, then on to the next step. All right, the key is don't get rid of all of this delicious fat. Let's add in our onions and our carrots and our garlic. What we're gonna do is we're gonna cook this for 5 minutes to get it all nice and tender. All right, look at all of these flavors. We've got our fennel, our turmeric, our ground ginger, our coriander, cloves, cinnamon, and star anise. Vegetables are all done. We're gonna put those in. And I've got my goose stock that I made here. Put that in. And our lemons, and then our apricots and raisins. Let's bring this back up to a boil, and then it's ready for the oven. So what I put this in is called a tagine, and it's very traditional in Morocco, and it keeps all of the aromas and flavors in there so good. If you don't have something like this, a heavy pot with a tight fitting lid is really good as well. Cook it in the oven for 3, 4, maybe even 5 hours. But the key is the meat must be tender. So here we are, fresh out of the oven. This smells amazing, this Moroccan goose. So you can dish it up, put lots of the juice and the broth in there. Take the cinnamon stick and the star anise out, and we're gonna garnish it with some of the chopped almonds. You can serve it with some naan bread. I guarantee after you try this recipe, you will not look at goose the same again. Happy cooking.